In this short clip, we will see how to record the usage of additional components due to wastage and the variances that are reported thereof. A typical production process would have a production order released to the production floor. Components would be issued for production as the production progresses. Once the production process is complete, the final product is brought into stock. Where we already know the additional requirement for a component due to wastage, we can include that in the issue for production transaction. We just insert the total quantity of components used, which includes the planned quantity and the wastage quantity. In order to process an issue for production transaction, we right-click and choose Issue for Production. We include all the items in the selection criteria and click on OK. In the Issue for Production screen, we add the planned quantities for all items except the motherboard, where we know that one additional component was required due to wastage. We add this through to the system. Looking at the Summary tab in the Total Variance report, we see that a quantity of 11 has been issued. In our production process, we find that for the component mouse, we needed an additional quantity of 3 due to wastage. We have already issued for production the planned quantity. We now need to add additional wastage quantity in a separate issue for production transaction. To include an additional wastage component in the issue for production transaction, we need to first identify the row number for that component. In order to do that, we need to include the row number column in the production order screen. Go to Settings and add the row number. The row number column appears. We now issue for production the additional wastage component in the issue for production transaction. Right-click, Issue Components. Depending on the complexity of the bill of material, you may want to restrict the selection criteria. However, in our case, we choose the default and click OK. The issue for production screen has no lines as all planned quantity has been added. We need to manually add a row for the component to record the wastage. To do this, we need the production order number and the row number for the component in that production order. The production order number in this case is 189, and the row number for the mouse USB is 6. We add a quantity of 3, which reflects the wastage. Add this transaction through. Notice that the planned and issued quantities for the motherboard and mouse USB are different by the wastage quantities. We now go to the Summary tab and look at the variance report again. You will notice that the mouse USB has increased to 33. To see the variance amount generated by the wastage, we complete the production by right-clicking on the production order and Report Completion. We add this transaction and we then look at the total variance report again. We can now see that the motherboard, for which there was a wastage of 1, has a variance of 144.09, and for the mouse USB there was wastage of 3 and the variance is 9.59. You have now seen how variances are reported due to wastage.